Okay, let's look at Reason 4. Reason 4 is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, music production software in use today. I work with a lot of big famous groups, and I can speak for several of them. I know that Cypress Hill and a lot of the Bone Thugs and Harmony's music is actually created and produced in Reason. Reason is a music production software, Reason 4. It doesn't record and playback audio. If you want to record and playback audio with Reason, you have to use a thing called Rewire, you have to use a thing called Rewire and sync Reason up with another program that does audio like Pro Tools or Cubase or Logic. Mu- uh, Reason 4 just produces music. It's sound modules like drum machines and keyboards and pianos and things like that. But like I said, in order to record audio and mix audio with Reason, you have to use a second program and run them in Rewire, such as Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase, Sonar. We'll look at those in other tutorials in running Reason in the Rewire mode. Let's start by looking at some of our preferences and set them up. By default in Reason 4, when you create a new project, it gives you this empty rack. This is a rack where all of our keyboards and synthesizers and drum machines are going to go. And it gives you a rack with a mixing board. You notice when I click on these, they outline and highlight it. You're probably going to, most of the time, if not all of the time, start with a mixing board, and I'll show you why. But there are more advanced applications with Reason 4. When I do mixing and I use Cubase or Nuendo and Rewire with Reason 4, I don't use a mixing board in Reason 4. But the first thing you're probably going to want to do is start by adding a mixing board up here. I'll quickly show you how to add a mixing board in case you don't have one here. You can right click here and delete any of these modules. You can highlight the mixing board or any of the modules in this rack, and you can highlight this mixing board or any of the modules in the rack, and you can hit delete, and it will remove these devices from the rack. So if we're starting with an empty rack, the way that you're going to add a mixing board is to go to create mixing board. And like I said, the first thing you're going to want to add to an empty rack is a mixing board. Because as you add other things like drum machines, if you have a mixing board first, Reason will automatically wire those together. Let's look at our preferences first, and then we'll get into using the mixing board and adding devices in Reason 4. And then we'll get into using the mixing board and adding and using devices in Reason 4.